In a world more interconnected than ever before, we are unexpectedly affected by things that we cannot see and things we do not know. But there is a world beyond the public eye, a place that the media tells you to fear, a no-go zone. Follow Mike, a world traveler, bringing us to no-go zones stateside and abroad, a travel documentary series that breaks barriers. Mike goes to the places that others are afraid of, where no one else dares to go, to tell their story, the story the media forgets to tell you. See the other side of places like Baltimore, Southside Chicago, Opelika, Syria, and more at MikeNoGoZones.com or Mike No Go Zones on YouTube.
Yes, I know that on my last episode, I said that I would release more material from my time in Kurdistan. But I received a last-minute invitation to visit Ukraine, a country currently at war with Russia. I knew the risks involved, but I felt like I couldn't miss out on a chance like this. To sum up the root causes of this conflict would take too long, so I'm adding a link below from Geography Now, who does an excellent job of explaining the conflict. So, for starters, how does one even get to Ukraine? Because since the war started, all flights have been suspended for fear of them being shot down. At the moment, there are two main gateway cities for entering the Ukraine, one of them being Krakow, Poland, or Chisinau, Moldova. Since I already traveled to Poland, I wanted to see a new country and decided to leave for Moldova. I found Moldova to be a charming country that is going through its own issues as it's looking to ally itself with the European Union and not Russia. I happened to come across a pro-European Union rally while I was there. So, since there are no flights, I had to take a 12.5-hour bus ride from Chisinau to Kyiv. But to be honest, the ride was boring and totally uneventful. But at the border, things got interesting as I was the only American on the bus. Here I am pulling into the border crossing. I was brought in for questioning, but once I showed them my press ID, they waved me through.
Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо.
Upon arrival at Kyiv, I was pleasantly surprised on how intact everything was. Of course, I decided to do some exploring around. My first stop was the historical center, and I explored the St. Michael Golden Dome Monastery complex. Right outside the monastery was a huge mosaic dedicated to the war dead. By the way, the history and architecture of Kyiv is amazing. When this conflict finally ends, I encourage everyone to visit. Here's the view inside the St. Michael Monastery. It was also time to meet up with my friend Nick, who's also a journalist based here in Kyiv, and for him to give me the lowdown on everything going on here. You may remember him from my Kabul episode, where he made a brief cameo. Please follow his Instagram for the best coverage on the Ukraine conflict. Here we are having a very informative lunch in central Kyiv. All right, here with my buddy Nick. It's been a while. It's been
quite a while, yeah.
Since we last hung out was in Istanbul.
Istanbul, that was getting on 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been too long. We shouldn't let that much time elapse again. But anyway, question I was curious. We texted earlier. Kyiv, you said, is out of range of the shelling, so it's...
Yeah, Kyiv has like a very, very normal vibe, at least on first impression. It doesn't look, as we were talking about, like it's been badly destroyed or damaged at all. One of the reasons for that is that the Russians never got their artillery in range of the city. When they attacked the city last February, they got stopped at the satellite towns of Irpin and Bucha, and so they never came in range of the central city itself. Now, while they can occasionally attack it with missiles, Kyiv has pretty good air defenses, so in the main, the center of the city is pretty safe and secure.
Right.
Now, it can sometimes be a bit crazy because, for instance, 3 days ago, they attacked with a massive missile strike, but the Ukrainians were able to shoot most of those down, and there were at least no civilian casualties.
Oh, that's great. Oh, good. Now, one thing I'm surprised, usually when these situations happen, you have IDP, internally displaced people.
Yeah.
Is that an issue? Are they coming?
It's quite a bit of an issue, yeah. So what's happened is that when there's obviously still a lot of fighting going on.
Right.
The fighting is mainly confined now to the east, to the Donbass region, and to the south, the Zaporizhia, Kherson regions. And so there have been a lot of people that have left those regions and they've come to Kyiv, or they've gone to further west to places like Lviv, or even down to Odessa, or Dnipro in the center, which are like very, very relatively safe places, at least by Ukrainian standards.
And also to other countries too. I mean, the whole Europe has seen an influx of refugees.
I think there were at one point about 8 million refugees, but I believe at least half of those have since returned.
Okay. Wow, it's just, it blows my mind. But are they staying in refugee camps? Are there camps being set up, or like?
Normally not. So most of the people have managed to get accommodation in some way or form. I mean, the European Union's been very, very generous there. There's quite a generous housing allowance for most refugees.
Okay.
And there's quite a lot of empty real estate, even in places like Kyiv, just because so many people have still left.
Right.
So, no, you don't have things that you would see in like Yemen or
or Afghanistan or
like
or
you know,
10 cities. Yeah,
10 cities. That's not really a thing.
unbelievable.
Sometimes there are very temporary ones that people stay in for a few days in places like Zaporizhia until they can get a more permanent accommodation.
Right.
But that's not a major issue in general. You know, IDPs and refugees have probably an easier time of it than they would in some of the
True. Okay. If you want to watch the whole conversation, that will be released on a separate video. After lunch, I kept on exploring Kyiv. Here's a quick snapshot of what I felt. Okay, just a snapshot of Kyiv. This is the center of Kyiv, where it's a big downtown district. Now, it's not crowded at all, but is it intact? Yes. Are businesses open? Yes. So it's nowhere near as bad as the rest of the country. Now, mind you, the rest of the country is in bad shape, especially out in the east, but around here, it's totally fine. Restaurants are open, shops are open. I was told that the population of this city has fallen quite a bit because of what's going on, but it's around here. I mean, if I were to show you this video without telling you where it was, you would think just life was normal here. Showing a little more, sidewalk cafes are open. Now, as you can see, it's not as full as they normally would be, but it is a Monday. But definitely, Kyiv is okay. But from what I've been told, if you talk to the people here, yeah, it's the war's on their mind because pretty much everyone has either lost a family member or has someone in their family fighting. So it's something that's on their mind. But the focus of this part of the video is to show that life goes on, despite all the hardships that this country is facing. Still gotta live your life somehow. It was a pleasant surprise in how calm Kyiv was until I spent my first night there. I was awakened by this. And that was definitely an eye-opener and a slap of reality. The next day, I wanted to keep exploring Kyiv, and I came across the Independence Square, where I saw the flags honoring the war dead. All these flags are the war dead. Freedom isn't free, that's for sure. From there, I went to the St. Sophia Cathedral. After that, I went to the Motherland Monuments. Okay, here we are at the Motherland Monuments. And it's a pretty striking poster. The Shield of Europe, yeah, they are. Kind of are. It's definitely, Ukraine is definitely what you would call a buffer state. And discarded artillery. Okay, it's a pretty big flag. There's the monument. Take a closer look. Okay, in the background there, you can see a really impressive statue representing Ukraine, the Motherland statue, but there's no access right now to get to it. I'm trying to figure out why, but when you don't speak the native language and not too many people here are fluent in English, so I'm kind of at loggerheads here. But as from what I can tell, there's no admission to get closer, which is a real shame. I would like to get a better photo of it, but it's closed. Now, during my time here, a curfew was in place, so no one was allowed outside after midnight. But that doesn't mean that the locals still can't blow off some steam. Nightlife starts early at 6 p.m. I booked a pub crawl with Artem, a local nightlife guide, and I'll leave his Instagram below.
The first one was open in Odessa,
Okay.
but now it's quite popular.
Okay, here we are at the Negroni Aperitivo Bar. Here with my guide, Artem.
Hello.
We're going on a bar crawl here, so he's gonna show me around Kyiv.
Kyiv and some interesting drinking points and drinking places.
Okay.
Some secret speakeasies.
Cool. So yeah, you're gonna see the other side of Kyiv because so far I don't want to just focus on the negativity. I want to show that there is. Look, I'm gonna take a look around quickly. There is life here. People are living. They're living their lives, shopping, eating, drinking. I mean, what's happening to this country is criminal. What the Russians are doing is bad, but people are still, you know, you gotta, life goes on.
While there is no alarms and no missiles and no drones,
Yeah.
we can actually
Right, it's
live
not-
our life and yeah, because we need to stay alive. You know, we need
Right,
to continue our
you
living.
can't cry yourself to
course,
sleep
of
every
course,
night,
of course.
and exactly, you gotta staying alive. As long as the drones don't come, we're good.
But we get used to. We know how to act in the situations when they're coming. So and for us, it's like a clock.
Cool. All right. Okay, this bakery is from the year, you said 1940s?
1946, just after
19
the Second World War.
Whoa.
They opened, and it's an epic place for all the locals.
Yeah, no, I'm having like an apple turnover. Really good. From the bar, we took it to go. Doing like a little pub crawl, but yes, you can tell this place is definitely older.
Normally, if you come here in the daytime,
Yeah, it's
all crowds of people, line of people who taking this buns and pastry to go.
right. Yeah, it's usually the case.
Super tasty, super cheap, super fresh. And
Oh, by the way, this turnover, I already bid into it. 50 cents. Back home, this would be $2-3. Oh, what's the name of this place?
Yaroslava.
Yaroslava.
It's the name of. It was Yaroslav Mudry, the king of Kyiv, ancient Kyiv.
Mm-hmm.
But Yaroslavna, it's a like girl name.
Okay. Cool. All right. On to the next place. Okay, Artem now has taken me to a speakeasy in the...
Its name is Who and Why Speakeasy Bar.
Okay.
It's a place which is situated inside of the Cuban bar, Cuban restaurant.
Right, Escobar.
Escobar, yeah. So now
Well, here we are. We're having
check
some
from-
craft cocktails made by a true artisan. And...
Here's a picture.
Oh, damn.
It's from this Herradura.
Yeah, Artem showed me photos of his trip to Mexico. And he went to Herradura.
So we
Man, you're a real
special-
vaquero.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
El
yeah.
Quemadores, you know? El
Yeah,
Quemadores
yeah,
is to cut the
The
agave.
tequila plant, the agave.
So we had these costumes, we had the horses, and
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it was
But yeah, here we are, and it's very cool vibe, speakeasy vibe.
there is a smoking room
Okay.
for everybody. There is a cigar smoking area.
Okay, so we're getting toward the end of the pub crawl because it's already 9:30, but nightlife here ends early because of the curfew. What's the name of this pub?
This is this place called TCP.
TCP.
It's the cinematographer's party. So the owner decided to make the place for all the cinematographers crowd and people who work with movies, with cinemas.
Creative people.
Creative people, yeah.
Yeah. He said it's like a hipster place.
Actually, all of this area, Golden Gate area, is hipster area. As you mentioned, we walk around through
Yeah.
different places.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Okay.
So,
So anyway, the point of this segment is to show that. Wow.
Sasha,
I was gonna say Fast and Furious, but yes, is there conflict going on? Yes, but again, life goes on. People have to have fun. They have to drink. They have to eat. They have to go out. You gotta blow off some steam. Life can be complicated. We all need to relax. We all need to be with friends, be with family. It's important. And I can't stress enough how the people here, the will to live.
I can remember the first couple of months is when Kyiv was empty. I stayed in Kyiv and I was a volunteer, and it was empty. And the main idea which I wanted just to speak to somebody, because
Right.
I'm coming to my big home with lots of apartments,
Right.
and like I can see only 4 windows with lights.
Empty. Everything was empty.
No people.
Everybody left,
around.
yeah.
Everybody left. The first 2 months or 3 months, you can drive on the red light. You can drive on the. you can do whatever you want. You can drive naked, totally naked, because nobody is here. The main idea was to communicate to somebody. You wanted to communicate with somebody.
You need to make a connection
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, some kind of.
You know, just say hello.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's
now it's cool that Russians because they were close to the Kyiv.
right.
Now they're not close to Kyiv. They're close to the eastern borders. And here's more not so dangerous as it used to be. Now we have normal weapons to deal with the drones and missiles and rockets and so on. Now it's more easy. Now it's more safe here. So people are coming back, and we hope all the ladies, all the people who are refugees right now in Europe somewhere or somewhere all around the world, they will come back here. But everything, the spring in Kyiv is the best time. So we couldn't. We don't want somebody to ruin this spring moments in Kyiv.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. It's people are out. You know, I see people smiling. People on dates. This is the way life should be.
Yeah.
And let's hope one day that this conflict will end. And let's hope. Slava Ukraina. Okay. So here we go. Last night in Kyiv. Signing off. Well, that ends my time in Kyiv, but not the Ukraine. In my next episode, I'll be exploring the war-torn town of Kharkiv. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.